Hello children, welcome back. So we have learned all about the green movement on killing a tree, and ultimately the sufferer, the deceased is the humankind. So I hope and I believe that you have already started taking steps towards saving the trees. So now let's move about the 9th chapter. 9th unit has a poem and also a lesson. So as usual, as soon as we complete a poem, it shall definitely be followed by another lesson. So let's go about the lesson, which is an interesting story, a very lovable, very emotional, very sentimental story. I really like it thoroughly. So of course you will also definitely like it. So the lesson is The Bond of Love, written by Kenneth Anderson. So all of you can just please look at this. And also open your textbooks and have your running notes along. So lesson number 9, The Bond of Love, written by Kenneth Anderson. And Kenneth Anderson, he himself is narrating the story to all of us. So the whole of the lesson you find it in the first person language because it's a narrative verse. So let's go about the bond of love. So what is bond, children? Bond of love is the title given. So what is bond? Usually bond is like, it's an agreement. It's a deal. Like whereas, by taking the mutual consent, there is a deal done. There is an agreement written. A bond, signed bond. When you were in class 8 in Merchant of Venice, you all remember Antonio signing, like he would be signing a bond which was issued by the Shylock, right? You all remember? Yes. So that's another kind of a bond. So fine, bond is nothing but an agreement, a deal. So when it comes to the bond of love, it does mean that it's an agreement of love with the mutual consent. Like your parents, they love you. So that's bond of love you have between the parents and yourself. You love your siblings. You love your brother and sister. So it's a bond of love between you and your siblings. You love your teacher, and teacher of course definitely loves you all, right? So it's a bond between the teacher and the students. So its bond is nothing but having an agreement with the mutual consent, with the mutual agreement. Understood, children? So now let's see the bond of love. So this bond of love is in between whom we do not know. Let's see. So page number 113, children, let's go about. Before you read, they are just giving you some information about, can there be love and friendship between human beings and wild animals? Wow, wonderful question, children. Let's read a fascinating account of an orphan sloth bear that was rescued by the author. So they are asking a question, can you just imagine that? Will there be any kind of a good friendship or relation or love between a human being and a wild animal? Not tamed animals, like it's not about dogs and cats and birds you tame them, or the cattle you have with you. They are asking that, can there be any love? Can there be any relation? Can there be any friendship between the human beings and the wild animals? We do not know. We really do not know. Maybe, may not. So now the narrator is Kenneth Anderson. He is going to describe a fascinating, in the sense that you will feel that it's so fascinating, so very interesting. You start admiring the story and the characters in it. So he gives us the narration, which is very fascinating, and it's all about the sloth bear. The sloth bear is nothing but it's an ordinary bear, which is usually found to be seen in India, which has got shaggy, long, thick hair. So it's an Indian bear only. Usually you see them in the zoos and all, no? Zoo parks and all. The same kind of a bear. So let's see how the thing goes on. So sloth bears inhabit forested areas. So of course the bears will live in forests only, not in towns and cities, right? But during this lockdown period, you see cheetahs, even pythons, they are coming on the road. We hear the news and we watch the news on the TV as well. So including the tropical rainforests of India and grasslands at lower elevations. So usually the sloth bears are seen in these areas, forests or grasslands or rainforests, sometimes elevated in the sense extended areas, in and around areas of those. And sloth bears have very shaggy hair. So now it comes about the description of the sloth bear. How does it look and all? You can surf through the internet, children. You can very much like see the colorful picture in the internet, right? So sloth bears have very shaggy hair. So shaggy is thick and very long hair. And long muzzles also. They have long muzzles also. You all know what I mean. Using their claws to dig. So what do they use to dig? You know, they use their claws to dig. And they can then use their lips to form a tube. As you all know, its mouth, you know, it is so long. And their lips, you know, they are so flexible like rubber. So their lips are so flexible, so they can just make the shape of their own lips, you know, by using them, like as if it looks like a rubber tube through which they suck their food. So what is their favorite food? You know, children, termites. Termites, you all know them, I believe. Light colored, white, pale colored, very small insects which are fed on wood and trees. So the favorite food of sloth bear is nothing other than the termites. That also you will come to know now. So they can use their lips to form a tube which can go deep into the ground. So why would they make their lips to be used as in the shape of a tube? Is to suck the food from the deeper part of the ground also, and into hard to reach areas like dead trees for their food. So even yesterday only we could come to know about the killing of tree. Once there is a dead tree, so of course the termites would attack the dead tree. So to get the termites to be eaten by them, they of course visit that particular dead tree and they try to suck all the termites with the help of their lips, as the lips are very flexible and they make the shape as if it looks like a rubber tube. And their main food is termites, as I said. So termites are the small insects which are of light white color, which are usually fed by they are fed on wooden trees. You can hear them suck up their food from several feet away. So they make a lot of sound while they suck the food. So while the sloth bears, they suck the food by making their lips to be in the form of the rubber tube. When they suck it, you know, they make a lot of sound, big sound they make it. It usually, you know, vacuum cleaners, we all use it to clean our houses. So how does it suck the dirt and dust in it? It makes a lot of sound. So the same kind of sound we hear. So this is all about what are sloth bears, where are they found to be seen, and how do they look. The whole of information is seen. So now we are going to see the bond of love between one such kind of a sloth bear and who the other one? Let's see. So let's see the characters also, children. Please make a note of the characters. The main central character is the sloth bear, which is named as Bruno and also Baba. Two names are given to the sloth bear. Then another character, human character, is the narrator, that is Kenneth Anderson and his wife. Then there are other two more miscellaneous characters which we likely not to take them down. Once we come across, then just take it down in your running notes also. But please do not forget about these two names, Bruno and Baba. Let's go about the story, children. Yes, so as I said, it's a narration. So the narrator is talking to all of us. I will begin with Bruno. So directly he's starting that, saying that he would begin his story with Bruno. My wife's pet sloth bear. So he's introducing the character of Bruno. As I said, it's a main character of the story. So the narrator is saying that the story is all about Bruno, who is my wife's pet sloth bear. So she's taming the sloth bear. I got him for her by accident. So he says that I gifted to my wife by an accident, like accidental. It was not planned before, or it wasn't well planned to gift her only a sloth bear, but by an accident he had to gift a sloth bear to his wife. 2 years ago, then how did he get it and all? He's giving the description here. 2 years ago, we were passing through the sugarcane fields near Mysore. People were driving away the wild pigs from the fields by shooting at them. Some were shot and some escaped. We thought that everything was over when suddenly a black sloth bear came out panting in the hot sun. So as our narrator and narrator's wife, they were traveling near the fields of sugarcane fields of Mysore. So you all know Mysore is a beautiful city, yes, which is very close to Bangalore, which belongs to Karnataka, right? So Mysore is one of the cities of beautiful cities of Karnataka, where Kannada is spoken. Mysore Maharaja Palace is very famous, right, children? Similarly, Coorg also, coffee fields are very close to Mysore. So here, our narrator and his wife, they were crossing the sugarcane fields near Mysore in their car, and there they could see that some of the farmers, or else the sugarcane fields owners, the farmers, they were shooting the wild pigs there, because wild pigs, when they enter into sugarcane fields, they completely destroy all the fields. They destroy all the fields, and wild pigs will be very big in size and they run very fast. And they look more or less like sloth bears only, because both the animals are black in color and both are hairy. So at the moment when they were passing through the sugarcane fields near Mysore, they could see the people shooting at the wild pigs, and some of the wild pigs were shot and some pigs, they escaped, they ran away. As all these things were happening, when the narrator felt that fine, maybe the shooting is done, at once, all of a sudden, he could see one sloth bear coming, running across to his car. It was a sloth bear. So what happens, let's see, and how did it come? It came out panting in the hot sun, breathing heavily. If we run very fast for long, children, don't we take long breath? Of course, and we breathe very quickly, even our heartbeat also increases, right? Whenever you do any workouts or hard workouts also, you experience the same. So similarly, as it was running so long, maybe, so it was panting, it was taking breath so heavily. So that sloth bear came across to their car. So now I will not shoot a sloth bear wantonly. Wantonly is nothing but wantedly, deliberately. So we need to assume that even he also has got a gun with him to shoot the wild animals, because anyhow they were passing through the forest area, so might be that is the reason why he was carrying a gun with him. So but he says that as I am not that cruel to shoot at the sloth bear. Why do I don't do it. But unfortunately for the poor beast, one of my companions did not feel that way about it and promptly shot the bear on the spot. Unfortunately, however, our narrator was thinking the same way. It doesn't it's not so, children. Whenever you think something, somebody else also will think, but they may think differently. Our thinking would definitely vary from person to person. So maybe our narrator was very kind-hearted, thinking that he would not shoot at the sloth bear. But unfortunately, the companion, the one who was journeying with our narrator along, he shot the sloth bear at once. He could not, by the time the narrator could realize, it was shot. As he watched the fallen animal, we were surprised to see that the black fur on its back moved and left the prostrate body. So please underline prostrate, children. Prostrate is nothing but lying on the ground facing downwards. How do you do Sashtang Namaskaram? No? The same way, it was just laying down by putting its head down. Right, children? So just laying on the floor, putting your head down. That's called prostrate body. Then immediately as it was shot on the spot, then it just put its body in the prostrate posture. Then we saw it was a baby bear that had been riding on its mother's back when the sudden shot had killed her. So sorry here, right, children? So they could realize and they were surprised to see a baby bear sitting on the back of the sloth bear, which was a mother. So the mother sloth bear was carrying its own baby bear on its back and came running across the car And very unfortunately, our narrator's companion, who was traveling along with him in his car, shot her dead. So she was shot dead. That's mother sloth bear was shot. The little creature ran around its prostrate parent, making a pitiful noise. How pitiable situation, children. We really feel so sorry and so sad for this. So, being the poor little bear, it could not realize that its mother is no more, and it went on making circles, it went on making rounds around its mother's dead body. I ran up to it to attempt a capture. The narrator, he could not really, he could not tolerate that, and he felt so sorry. Then he thought of just taking it. Then he thought of just getting it. Then he thought of taking it. Capture, the word is nothing but taking it. Then he immediately moved forward to take the little sloth bear to catch. But it scooted into the sugarcane field, but it did not, he could not capture it because it ran away. Scooted is nothing but scooter, you all know the word, no? Scooter is the one which runs very fast. That's how the scooter, the word is being originated from scooting the word. So it scooted in the sense it ran away very fast into the sugarcane fields to rescue itself, because it could understand that some one of them had killed its own mother. So if it is caught also, even it would also be obviously be killed, and it did not want to be caught by them then, so it ran away. Following it with my companions, I was at last able to grab it by the scruff on its neck, while it snapped and tried to scratch me with its long hooked claws. Then for the animals, their body, texture itself is, it is so flexible, and it looks like an elastic part or something. So if at all, scruff, the word is used. Scruff is nothing but the upper part of the skin just behind the neck, whereas usually you can just hold them. And if at all you see the kittens and cats, children, if at all you hold the back part of their neck, they just stand still, because that is the place to hold them correctly. So as the narrator knew this, then what did he do? Immediately he just hold it tightly. Then it thought of rescuing itself. It thought of getting out of it, the sloth bear. For that, what did he do? It started scratching him with its paws and claws. So let's see what happens in the next session, children. Is it interesting? Is the story interesting? Story started with the tragedy of the baby sloth bear losing its own mother. So it's the story is The Bond of Love, written by Kenneth Anderson. Whereas he himself is narrating the story, he says that he has gifted a sloth bear to his wife by an accident. It was not a planned gift, and the character is Bruno, which was a sloth bear. So one of the days he was just traveling in the car. He was not traveling with his wife, he was traveling with his companions in the sugarcane fields near Mysore, and there he saw the wild pigs were being attacked by the people there. Then therein a mother sloth bear came across to their car. Unfortunately, one of his companions shot the mother sloth bear on the spot, and then they realized that it was carrying a baby sloth bear. And then that's how our narrator could get the young sloth bear. So that was the sloth bear which was being gifted to his wife. So till now we have done it, and let's continue in the next session, children. I think you all loved it. So please attempt all the questions given by me in the form of the worksheet. So this is Vidya signing off. Let's meet in the next session.